In 1968, someone lifted a wooden crate out of the dirt in southern Iraq and set one tablet aside. The 11th in the box, about the size of your palm. A video watched millions of times says that tablet recorded the end of a city. 90,000 people climbing down into the earth, a sky that burned. Here's the detail that doesn't sit right. You can search every major database of Sumerian writing on Earth, and that tablet isn't in a single one of them. The crate is real. The dig is real. The number is written in a counting system real Sumerian scribes used. The story on it is not. The place is al-Hiba. Flat, baked plain. Heat coming off the ground in sheets. Dust fine enough to coat your teeth. Underneath it, Lagash, one of the largest cities of ancient Sumer, settled before the pyramids were a thought. Real archaeologists dug here. Real tablets came out of the ground. That's what makes the claim work. It stands on just enough truth to hold weight. So read it line by line. 3 of the words don't survive the reading. Start with what actually happened. In 1968, a joint team from the Metropolitan Museum of Art and New York University began digging at Tel al-Hiba. The directors, Vaughn Crawford and Donald Hanson. They came back season after season, through 1976, one last dig in 1990, until the Iran-Iraq War shut the country to them. What they found was a city that ran on paperwork. Lagash was a temple and administrative center, and most of its tablets are accounts. Grain, rations, temple stores, lists of who got how much barley. Not the stuff of legend, the slow bookkeeping of a civilization that wrote things down because it needed to know where the food was. That's the soil the viral story plants itself in. Real dirt, a real crate. And then a tablet nobody can find, carrying a number a real Sumerian scribe could actually have written. That single true detail, the number, is doing all the work. And the number checks out to the digit, which is the first sign that whoever built this knew exactly what they were doing. The video tells it clean. An Iraqi-Italian team, a conservator, Marco Del Gregorio, an epigrapher, Ali al-Hashimi, who translates the 11th tablet and finds something he can't explain. 90,000 people, a burning sickness, a descent underground. Then the hook that makes it stick. A reclassification in 2022, restricted access, category 2. A paper rejected by the Journal of Near Eastern Studies. 4 scientists who saw it and never spoke again. Good story. Names, dates, and institution, a silence. And every checkable piece of it dissolves the second you check it. There is no Lagash tablet with this text, not in CDLI, not in ETCSL, not in ORAC, the 3 databases where Sumerian transliterations live. Nothing in the Iraq Museum's records. No conservator by that name tied to the site. The only al-Hashimi matching the profile is an astronomer from the 9th century, dead for over 1,000 years. The single source for the whole account is the video itself. The number, though, that's the clever part. Shad, in Sumerian, meant 3,600. Their math ran on base 60. 25 shad comes to exactly 90,000. One true ingredient, dropped in to make the rest taste real. Names dissolve. Dates dissolve. But there's one thing in the video that can't hide behind a missing archive. The actual words on the tablet. So go there. That's where these things stand or fall. The video shows transliterated Sumerian, real-looking words, glossed with ominous meanings. Namtag, it says, means affliction, bent by a determinative for living things into something living from above. Except Namtag means sin, guilt. The determinative described doesn't work that way. And the rest, Antag Galed, Dalakur, Sahardala, aren't Sumerian terms at all. At one point, a phrase resolves to Luigi Zoo, offered as the knowing men. That's not a translation of anything. It's noise in a costume. That's the method. Take real fragments of a language almost no one reads. Salt them with invented words. Gloss the whole thing toward the ending you already wanted. A layperson can't audit it. That's the point. And here's the part that flips it. This was never a discovery that got buried. It was a template that got dressed up. The symptoms in the video, skin burns, vomiting, sudden blindness, glowing dust, a changed quality of light, aren't Sumerian. They're the ancient atomic war legend that circled Mohenjo-Daro since the 1970s, lifted whole and given a new backdrop. The Mohenjo-Daro version goes like this. An ancient city, skeletons left lying in the streets, a line in the Mahabharata describing a blast brighter than 10,000 suns. For 50 years, it's been the go-to proof of prehistoric nuclear war. And for 50 years, one fact has quietly broken it. The skeletons weren't found together. Some were buried. And they died as much as 1,000 years apart. No peer-reviewed study has ever found abnormal radioactivity at the site. As for that 10,000 suns line, it appears in no genuine translation of the Mahabharata. It was reverse engineered after the atomic age to sound ancient. So the Sumerian tablet isn't a new mystery. It's the same story wearing a new face. Same burning sky, same mass descent. Same buried truth ending. Different decade, different civilization, different language nobody in the audience can read. The story didn't come out of the ground at Lagash. It came off a shelf. And once you see that shelf, you can't unsee how much of it is real. Because Sumer did write about catastrophe. There's a whole genre of it, the city laments. The lamentation over the destruction of Sumer and edited by Pyotr Michalowski in 1989, describes divine anger, emptied cities, people scattering in flight, real texts, freely readable right now. If a Sumerian tablet were ever going to record a city's end, that's the tradition it would belong to, and it's sitting there, untouched, while the fake one travels. And the underground part is real too, just in the wrong country. In Cappadocia, in modern Turkey, there are cities carved straight down into the rock. Derinkuyu, Kaymakli, with rolling stone doors, ventilation shafts that still pull air, and room for thousands of people below the surface. 18 levels deep in places. Tens of thousands really did hide underground. No one had to invent it. It was mapped, measured, walked through. Which leaves one stubborn thing. The real record, the laments, the cities under the rock, sits quietly in a database almost no one opens. The invented one gets the millions of views. The whole difference between them comes down to a single skill almost no one watching has. The ability to read the original. So the next time a tablet supposedly says something impossible, there's one question worth asking first. Not what it says, who actually read it, and whether anyone else can.